Needling sensations. It's important to get feedback from the patient to assure that you are obtaining qi. There are 4 basic needling sensations that the patient may feel when the needles are in. They are dull soreness, numbness, heaviness, distending or swollen sensation. Other sensations the patient may feel are pain, electrical, cold, hot, bubbly or fizzing, tickling, or ant crawling. All of these sensations are considered normal and will vary from person to person. Insertion methods. Both hands work together when doing needling. The insertion hand is called Si Xiao. Ya Xiao is the supporting hand. It is often used to stretch the skin, push in at the site, or for other motions to help with insertion. Different techniques and needle lengths will require holding the needle with one hand or 2 hands. With one-handed insertion, you might use 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, or even 5 fingers. Two-handed insertion. With long needles, there are times that we use both hands to support the needle. Quick insertions. There are 8 different techniques for quickly inserting the needle. The crashing technique, the plum technique, the fingernail technique, the circle technique, the straight technique, the spot technique, the flicking technique, and the flying technique. The crashing technique. Hold the needle with 4 or 5 fingers and quickly crash down on the surface through which you insert the needle. The plum technique. For this technique, use the thumb and forefinger and insert similar to releasing a dart. The fingernail technique. Put the fingernail of the support hand on the point and press in slightly. Insert the needle right next to the nail. Circle technique. Using all of the fingers as support, roll the hand over the tips, forming a circle, inserting the needle at the end of the rotation. Straight technique. Using all the fingers as support, quickly go straight in with the needle. For the spot technique, place the middle finger parallel to the length of the needle, with the fingertip extending just slightly beyond the end of the needle. Bring the hand down quickly and repeatedly on the point, and while the middle finger pushes down into the skin, the tip of the needle is inserted into the skin. Flicking technique. Hold the needle upright with the support hand and flick or tap the end of the needle quickly with the insertion hand, similar to how you might tap using tube insertion. Flying technique. Using 3 fingers, swiftly insert the needle with a slight twisting motion during insertion and quickly release the fingers. The visual concept is that the fingers releasing look like a bird's wing in flight. There are 2 slow insertion methods. A TCM belief is that slow insertion methods won't hurt qi in the blood so much. The first technique is the straight insertion technique. This is simply inserting the needle straight into the skin, but very slowly. The second is the twisting technique. This variation is to twist the needle as the needle is slowly inserted. Promoting qi, the 12 techniques to promote qi. Once the needle has been inserted, it's important to promote qi to have strong qi sensation at the point or allow it to travel to the area you are treating. This can be done by manipulating the needle in various ways. There are 12 methods, called the 12 techniques, that are designed to promote qi. One might use more than one of these methods at any given site. Along the channel. Before needling, tap, flick, or rub along the channel to stimulate the qi and then insert the needle. Shunfa might also be done after removing the needle. Flicking. Insert the needle and then once in, use the index or middle finger to flick the handle repeatedly. Scraping. There are 2 ways to do the scraping technique. One is to bend the needle back over the index finger and then scrape the handle with the thumbnail. The other is to bend the needle slightly with the thumb and scrape the handle with the nail of the index finger. Wagging. Insert the needle. Once in, wag the handle of the needle back and forth following the direction of the channel or across the channel. For flying, insert the needle and then put a quick twisting movement on the handle, moving the thumb and forefinger in opposite directions. The thumb and forefinger's movements resemble the wings of a bird. Shaking or pounding. There are two ways to hold the needle to do this. One is with the forefinger holding back. Hold the needle between the forefinger and the thumb. The other is to hold it like you would a 3-finger insertion. In both cases, with quick short movements, move the needle up and down in this point. This can also be done with finer movements for less stimulation. Rotating. Hold the tips of the thumb, forefinger, and middle finger loosely together. Place the handle of the needle in the center of the 3 fingers. Slowly rotate the needle around in a circle. Siphoning or obtaining by drawing. Use this technique when a patient is not getting a chi sensation. Vibrate the needle in the point and quickly pull up on the needle. Push the needle back down and repeat several times. The motion is like siphoning upward. Laying down. After the needle is inserted, lay the handle down against the skin for a bit in the direction opposite the problem area you are treating. For example, if the problem in this case were the shoulder, lay the handle down on the forearm so the tip of the needle is closer to the shoulder. If the problem is on the hand, bend the needle in the opposite direction. Knocking. Insert the needle and knock or tap lightly on the end of the handle of the needle. Rotating. Insert the needle, bend the needle over, and rotate around 360 degrees. Plus, insert the needle at the point. Then insert additional needles along the channel to promote qi in that direction. Basic tonifying and reducing. There are 7 basic techniques we will use for tonifying and reducing with the needle. Twisting. To tonify with the twisting technique, turn the needle by extending your thumb and pulling your index finger back toward you. Focus your attention and more effort on this part of the movement. Then lightly return the needle back to the original position. Repeat this motion several times. You can also use 3 fingers when using this technique. To reduce using the twisting technique, reverse the motions and the effort. Apply more effort while moving your thumb towards you and slightly extending the index finger. Lighter motion is used to return the needle back to the original position. Again, repeat this motion several times. Lifting and thrusting. Lifting and thrusting is moving the needle up and down in the point. To tonify, grasp and apply more tension on the needle while on the downward movement. Then use light tension while lifting the needle. Repeat several times. To reduce, do just the opposite. Grasp the needle lightly while on the down motion and use more tension and effort while lifting the needle upward. Repeat these motions several times. Slow and fast. To tonify using the slow and fast method, slowly insert the needle deeper to a count of 3. Pull the needle back up to a count of 1 and repeat several times. To reduce, insert to a count of 1 and slowly pull the needle back up to a count of 3, repeating that several times. Follow through. You can also tonify or reduce by needling with or against the channel. To tonify, angle the insertion of the needle so that it goes the direction the channel runs. For example, On the large intestine channel, large intestine 11 would be inserted at an angle toward the shoulder for tonifying. To reduce, insert the needle at an angle against the direction the channel is running. In this case, insert at large intestine 11, angling toward the origin of the channel in the hand. Inhalation, exhalation. Having the patient inhale or exhale during insertion of the needle is another way to tonify or reduce. To tonify, have the patient exhale while inserting the needle. To reduce, have the patient inhale during insertion. Close or open. Techniques used while withdrawing the needle also can aid in tonifying or reducing. When tonifying, close the hole by holding cotton over it while withdrawing the needle. When reducing, rotate the needle around to open the hole wider and withdraw without covering the insertion site. 9 or 6. The numbers of twists or other techniques used are also significant when tonifying or reducing. To tonify, repeat a technique 9 times. To reduce, repeat the technique 6 times. Advanced needling techniques. The 3 levels. For this group of techniques, divide the point into 3 depths or levels. The 3 levels are heaven, which is the most superficial, human, the middle level, and earth, the deepest level. The depths of each level will differ depending on how deeply you desire or should needle the point you are dividing. For example, if you were needling a point to a depth of 1.5 soon, heaven would be 0.5 soon deep, human would be 1 soon deep, and earth would be 1.5 soon deep. There are 6 techniques that use the 3 levels. Burning the mountain. Burning the mountain is a pure tonification technique. It is commonly used for deficiency and cold conditions. Ideally, the patient will feel a slight warming sensation when this technique is used. First, insert the needle to the heaven or first level while the patient exhales. Push the needle in with heavy effort and pull out with light effort. Do that sequence 9 times. Insert the needle to the human or second level. Repeat the same process for a total of 9 repetitions. Insert the needle to the earth or third level. Repeat this process for 9 repetitions. Then repeat the entire process 3 times. To finish the technique, either retain for 15 or 20 minutes or withdraw the needle and close the hole. Let in the fire tonifying is an abbreviated version of burning the mountain. For this one, first insert to the heaven level as the patient exhales through the mouth. Do heavy insert and light lift for 3 repetitions. Then insert to the human level and do 3 repetitions. And finally insert to the earth level and repeat. Withdraw the needle and close the hole. Heat tonification. This is another version of a pure tonification technique. Insert the needle to the desired depth. Twist the needle using tonification 3 to 9 times. 9 times is preferred. Then use lift and thrust tonifying by inserting heavy and withdrawing light 3 to 9 times. Then twist the needle again using tonification 3 to 9 times more. To end, leave the needle in place for the desired time or remove and close the hole. Cooling the sky. This is a pure reduction technique. It is commonly used for excess and heat conditions, most notably heat B. Its steps are first to insert the needle into the earth or third level while the patient inhales. Push the needle in lightly and pull out heavy for 6 times. Withdraw the needle to the human or second level. Repeat the above steps 6 times. Withdraw to the highest or heaven level and repeat those steps 6 times. Repeat the entire process 3 times. To finish, retain for 15 or 20 minutes or rotate the needle while withdrawing. Do not close the hole. Let in the water reducing, an abbreviated version of cooling the sky reducing method. Insert to the earth level while the patient is inhaling. Spread the skin as you insert the needle. Then do light insertion and heavy lifting technique for 3 times. Withdraw to the human level and repeat, and then withdraw to the heaven level and repeat. Cool reducing. This is another pure reducing technique. To do this, insert to the desired depth and obtain Da Qi. Twist the needle using reducing motion 3 to 6 times. 6 times is preferred. Insert light and withdraw heavy 3 to 6 times. Then twist the needle 3 to 6 times using reducing. And to end, either leave the needle in place for the desired time or rotate and leave the hole open. Combining tonification and reduction. We will introduce 9 techniques where tonification and reduction are combined. Yin hidden within yang, the technique is mainly tonifying or yang, but there is some reducing or yin hidden within it. This can be used for patients with a mixture of heat and cold, but with more cold than heat. For this technique, the steps are: begin by tonifying the second level. While the patient exhales, insert the needle to the human level until the patient feels Da Qi. While slightly stretching the skin, tonify with heavy insertion and light lifting for 9, 27, or 81 times. Then reduce the third level. Have the patient inhale and stretch the skin at the point while inserting to the earth level. Use light insertion, heavy lifting 6, 18, or 36 times. You can also incorporate a slight twisting motion if you wish. Lift the needle to the first level. Hold for a few seconds. Then withdraw and close the point or insert a little more deeply and retain the desired length of time. Yang hidden within yin. This technique is mainly for reducing or yin, but there is some tonifying or yang hidden within it. It is used for patients with a mixture of heat and cold, but with more heat than cold. Start by reducing the third level. Stretch the skin with your supporting hand. Insert to the earth or third level while the patient inhales. Get Da Qi. Then use light insertion, heavy lifting for 6, 18, or 36 times. Next, tonify the second level. Press on the point, and as the patient inhales, withdraw to the human or second level. Use heavy pushing and light lifting 9, 27, or 81 times. Withdraw the needle and do not close the point. Dragon and tiger fighting. This technique is used for any kind of pain problem. Insert the needle and get qi sensation. Use twisting to tonify 9 times, and then twist to reduce 6 times. This equals 1 sequence, and this sequence may be repeated as many times as you wish. Midnight midday pound the pot. This technique can be used to guide the qi of yin and yang or tonify the yang to reduce the yin. First, divide the point into the 3 levels. Insert into the first level and use heavy insertion light lifting 81 times. For the sake of time on the video, only a few repetitions are shown. Push the needle to the second level and repeat. Then push the needle to the third level and repeat. Then divide the point into 2 levels. Withdraw up to the second level and reduce for 64 times. Withdraw to the first level and use reducing twisting 64 times. The total number of manipulations is 371. Now, repeat the entire process 3 times for a total of 1,113 manipulations. Blue-green dragon wags his tail. This technique is used for bee patterns and to promote qi and tonify deficiency. Insert the needle and obtain qi sensation. Pull the needle up close to the surface. Bend the needle toward the diseased area at a 45-degree angle. Wag the needle back and forth 9 or 27 times, with back and forth equaling 1 time. Remove the needle and cover the hole or retain for 20 minutes. White tiger rotates his head. Originally, this technique was used on stomach 40 to reduce phlegm, especially when causing mania or quang. Nowadays, it's used for people who do not have genuine mania, but who have a milder case of manic depression during the manic stage of the disease. Use this technique in large muscular areas. Insert into the muscle and obtain qi, and then simultaneously insert quick and heavy and rotate fast. Slowly rotate the needle on withdrawal. Green Turtle explores the point. This technique is for B patterns and also used to promote qi. First, insert the needle perpendicularly through the 3 levels. Withdraw to just under the skin and point the needle oblique and upward on the patient. Reinsert the needle through the 3 levels. Withdraw to just under the skin and point the needle obliquely and downward on the patient. Reinsert the needle through the 3 levels. Withdraw the needle to just under the skin and point it obliquely to the patient's left. Reinsert through the 3 levels, and then withdraw the needle to just under the skin and point the needle obliquely into the patient's right. Reinsert again through the 3 levels. Then withdraw to just under the skin and reinsert perpendicularly. Withdraw the needle or leave it in place for the desired time. Red Bird welcomes the source. This technique is also used for B patterns and to promote qi. Its steps are: insert the needle perpendicularly into the earth or 3rd level. Pull the needle back up to the heaven or 1st level. Then insert back down to the human or 2nd level and obtain the qi sensation. Use inserting and twisting manipulation with the flying technique or Fei Fa. Qi moving technique. The qi moving technique is most often used to treat pain due to excess. It is usually done on a distal point. Its steps are: first, to insert the needle to the 2nd level and obtain qi sensation. Then use light insertion and heavy lifting for 6 or 18 times. Withdraw and point the needle toward the diseased area. Insert slightly and let the patient take 3 to 5 breaths. Leave the needle in place or withdraw. As an alternative, you can point the needle at the diseased part and have the patient breathe while you do the light insertion and heavy lifting technique. Other needling techniques. There are several other needling techniques that are used for varying purposes. Stuck needle. Stuck needle is used for several reasons, both externally and internally. It is commonly used to break up or reduce areas of accumulation or knots in soft tissue. To perform the stuck needle technique, start by creating a triangle by spreading the skin with the thumb and forefinger of the supporting hand and middle finger of the needling hand. Insert the needle at an angle. Twist it and slightly pull back to get it stuck. Perform rapid lifting and thrusting motions. There are 3 modern developments of the stuck needle technique. They are line needling, toward needling, and fish diving in the water. To do line needling, insert several needles in a line and get each one stuck. Insert other needles toward the original line of needles. Don't get these needles stuck. You can lightly flick your fingertips across the handles of all of the needles in order to stimulate them. To remove all the needles, slightly twist the stuck needles in the opposite direction to get them unstuck before withdrawing. For toward needle, if you would like to concentrate on a particular area, you can insert 2 needles toward each other and get each one stuck. Fish diving in water. This technique may be used when working on a knot in the tissue. Insert 2 needles together and get each one stuck. Bend the needles over and pull up. With a 3rd needle, insert and withdraw quickly all around the area, and then withdraw all the needles. Chicken claw. This technique can be used for bee patterns or Bell's palsy. It has 2 basic steps. First, insert a needle perpendicularly, and then insert 2 other needles obliquely on either side of the original. Five tigers catch the sheep. This technique is commonly used for bee patterns. Its steps are simple. First, insert 4 needles in a square obliquely toward each other. Then insert a 5th needle in the center. Separate the muscle. This is a great technique for sports injuries and other bee patterns. The steps are: first, insert several needles close together in a line. You can follow the line of a channel or a muscle. Then place your index finger and middle finger on either side of the handles of the needles and move the needles back and forth. The intent is to try to separate the muscle tissue that is bound up. As an alternative, you can flick across the handles. Flying needle. This is a quick needling technique. In theory, this technique could treat almost any condition. The steps are as follows. First, quickly insert and withdraw the tip of the needle several times, following along the line of the channel. You can repeat the line a few times. You will see the skin color turn slightly pink or red as you work. Fire needle. This technique is less common and requires a special needle that can withstand high heat. It may be used for most conditions, but is mostly used for bee pattern and skin conditions. It is shown here for purposes of demonstration only. For this technique, first heat the special fire needle in a flame. Then, once the needle is hot, quickly insert and withdraw the needle in and out of the knotted muscle, as an example. The patient should not shower for a day after this technique is performed. What's next? For follow-up, if you are interested in learning to perform the needling techniques you have seen, you will need additional training in some of the subtleties of the techniques. contact Dr. Wei Lu to arrange a class using the contact information you see on the screen. If you have used this as a reference following training with Wei Lu, now it's your turn to begin using the techniques in your practice. You have a notebook you received in training that provides you with all the steps to each technique. Best wishes to you in using these techniques to strengthen your practice.